Yo, can you guys hear me? I would assume so, because my mic's been plugged in. What's going on, guys? GZTV back with another video, and in this video we're going to be talking about the 2016 Marvel movie, probably one of the funniest, maybe even one of the best Marvel movies ever made, and that is Deadpool, man. I mean, this movie is amazing, honestly. I really like this movie. It finds such a cool, satirical balance, and it's a great movie. If you haven't seen it, you should definitely go check it out. It's been out for 6 years, and somehow I've been sleeping on it all this time. I just watched it last night. I know I usually do horror movies on this channel. Next week we will return to our horror movies. Don't worry about that. It's just for now. I couldn't really find any horror movies to watch that weren't 3 hours long. I'll probably watch The Shining next week because it's a really long movie, so there's that for you. My eyes are just... Ugh. But, we're going to get through the plot. We're going to get through the critical reception because this was a very much critically acclaimed movie. A lot of people are talking about it. I just woke up, so yeah, it is what it is. I got to leave for lab here in 36 minutes, so that gives me time to get ready, get a Deadpool video out, and then I'm going to talk about The Walking Dead. So there's that for you. So Wade Wilson is a dishonorably discharged special forces operative working as a freelance mercenary when he meets a prostitute named Vanessa. She starts out as a prostitute. It's kind of like a love story. It's kind of like it takes a superhero movie and turns it into kind of a love movie of sorts. And yeah, it's a really good movie. It's got a very interesting plot. It's not something you would expect out of the movie, I guess. I don't know. It's very interesting compared to other Marvel movies. I'm not a Deadpool fan. I'm just like a Marvel fan. Oh my goodness, okay. That's my bad. More of a Marvel fan, but I haven't read his comics or anything like that. Once anyone gets pasted into the MCU universe, I gotta kind of check it out. And I think this Friday I'm gonna watch Black Panther. I kind of want to. I'm not sure though. They become romantically involved, and a year later she accepts his marriage proposal. So they date for a year, they marry each other, yada yada yada. However, Wilson is later diagnosed with terminal cancer, and he leaves Vanessa without warning, so she will not have to watch him die, which is kind of stupid because you kind of want your family members to be there in your last minutes to kind of cherish it with you. I don't know, that's kind of a weird outlook on things. I'm not really sure about that. A mysterious recruiter approaches Wilson and offers him an experimental cure for his cancer. They're trying things out. They want him to be a science experiment. He's like, well, I'm pretty much close to death anyway, so I might as well try it out. He is taken to a laboratory run by Ajax and Angel Dust to inject him with a serum designed to awaken latent mutant genes in his body, which is something that could happen in real life, but I don't think that's very realistic. I don't think we have enough mutant genes in our body that if you inflict pain on us, we're not going to become superhuman. I guess there's adrenaline, but that's not making us superhuman. It's just limiting pain in our body. They subject Wilson to days of torture to induce stress and trigger any mutation he may have without success. So they're like, oh, this dude's a lost cause. We can't cure him from his cancer. We can't make him a superhero. He's not a superhero. He's an anti-hero, I guess, is what they call him. Very interesting role in the Marvel world. When Wilson discovers Ajax's real name is Francis and mocks him for it, Ajax leaves Wilson in a hyperbaric chamber that periodically takes him to the verge of asphyxiation over the weekend. So he's this is the best form of torture they have, and since he's mocking him and making fun of him, he decides, let's torture the guy for a weekend, He had every reason to. I mean, his name's fucking Francis. That's funny. This finally activates a regenerative healing factor that counteracts Wilson's cancer, but leaves him severely disfigured with burn-like scars over his entire body. So he literally looks he's a burn victim, pretty much. He's suffered a lot of burns and stuff. Because when you're in the chamber and you get short of breath, your body, your pores and shit start to I don't know how to explain it. I don't know if that happens in real life. I think it does, though. I think people that die of asphyxiation like that, have those, body scars and stuff. He escapes from the chamber and attacks Ajax, but relents when told that his disfigurement can be cured. Ajax, lies, and he's like, oh, we can cure this. You're good. We can get you through this. In the chaos, Ajax subdues Wilson and leaves him for dead in the now burning laboratory. So he leaves him behind And he's like, oh, well, I guess Francis betrayed me, and that's kind of my mission. That's been like the mission his whole life, is to get back at this Francis guy, Ajax, whatever you want to call him. Wilson survives due to his new healing abilities and seeks out Vanessa. So he really wants to find her and explain everything, why he's been gone for so long. He does not reveal to her that he is alive out of fear that she will reject his new appearance, which, I mean, he gave her enough love in the past, and he looked good in the past. I mean, Ryan Reynolds, man, come on, no homo, but, I mean, yeah, I don't know. After consulting with his best friend Weasel, Wilson decided to hunt down Ajax for the cure. He's like, alright, I'm gonna go get this guy. Like, he has what's coming to him. He, caused me a lot of pain, This is actually not that long of a plot. I don't think this review is going to be that long. I mean, it's a great movie. So, if you haven't watched it, go watch it. It's amazing. Marina Baccarin is a very, very beautiful actress. So, there's that too. He becomes a masked vigilante, adopting the name Deadpool from Weasel picking him in a Deadpool. That now you guys kind of know the origin story behind the name, which is really cool. He's got a really unique story. He comes from nothing. I guess some superheroes definitely come from nothing, but not a lot of them do actually, or anti-heroes. He moves into the home of an elderly blind woman named Al. What was she gonna do? Tell him no? I mean, she can't even fucking see the guy. Over the course of the next year, he questions and murders many of Ajax's men until one, the recruiter, reveals Ajax's whereabouts. So he kind of has this board with the links. He's trying to find out where Ajax is, and he's kind of contacting any associations he has with any men to get some clues on it. So it's kind of his goal, I guess. With that information, Deadpool ambushes Ajax and a convoy of his men on an expressway. That's kind of where the opening sequence comes from, him just attacking all these people. So he kills all of Ajax's goons, subdues Ajax himself, and demands the cure, but the X-Men, Colossus, and his trainee Negasonic Teenage Warhead interrupt him. So we have some X-Men characters in here. Obviously, you know that Deadpool is a member. He's an anti-hero in the X-Men series. That's where he comes from, if you didn't know. But, I think he was a part of the X-Men at one point in the comics, if I'm not mistaken. He definitely isn't anymore, but maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm not sure. Colossus attempts to convince Deadpool to mend his ways and join the X-Men, but Deadpool turns him down. So yeah, he wasn't in the X-Men of this movie. I know that for a fact, but I don't know. We'll see. And they actually tease Deadpool in an X-Men movie, so yeah, that just shows you how involved he is. Taking advantage of this distraction, Ajax escapes and regroups with Angel Dust, who's the super strength, gothic-looking lady. The two of them then head to Weasel's bar, where Ajax learns of Vanessa. He kind of knows where she would be at and stuff like that. Ajax kidnaps Vanessa and takes her to a decommissioned helicarrier in a scrapyard. Just kind of crazy. Why the hell would there be a fucking broken down helicarrier in a scrapyard? Wouldn't you want to prepare it or repair it? I don't know. That's kind of weird that it's just sitting there. That's kind of an irrelevant question, but let's move on. In response, Deadpool convinces Colossus and Negasonic to help him get her back. So there's this trio of heroes going against Angel Dust and Ajax to get back Vanessa, which she'll probably reject him. She calls him an asshole for not being there for her. But yeah, they battle Angel Dust and a group of Ajax men while Deadpool fights his way to Ajax. While everyone else is distracted, Deadpool figures he's going to try to go up and try to attack Ajax. Is there a booger on my face this whole video? I guess y'all probably couldn't see that. During the battle, Negasonic accidentally destroys the equipment stabilizing the helicarrier, so it's pretty much a fucking avalanche from there. And I mean, the action sequences in this movie are amazing. The slow motion, it's done better than most Marvel movies, I would say. Deadpool protects Vanessa as the ship collapses all around them, while Colossus carries Negasonic and Angel Dust to safety. So he's kind of a gentle giant. He doesn't want anyone to get hurt. He's a hero. Superheroes don't kill people; they just save others. Ajax attacks Deadpool again, but is overpowered. He reveals there was never a cure to begin with, and despite Colossus's pleas, Deadpool kills him. So Colossus throws up because he shoots him in the head, and he can't stand to see someone die in his hands almost. But Deadpool kills him because he doesn't have a cure. Ajax isn't immortal, guys. Remember, he just can't feel pain, so he doesn't know when he's like close to death, which is kind of like a scary thing almost. That would kind of backfire on you in a situation of survival. However, Deadpool does promise Colossus that he will try to be more heroic moving forward. Maybe not kill so many people. Maybe not make it look as gruesome. I mean, he kind of fights bad guys, but he kills bad guys. So that's kind of what makes him an anti-hero. Though Vanessa is angry with Wilson for leaving her, she reconciles with him upon learning from him why he never came back to her, and him kind of explaining everything. So that's kind of how it ends, like a beautiful love story, panning off. I really like this, like the satirical aspects of this movie. I think that's so unique how they did this. So let's look at the reviews, because there's a lot of them. This is a very popular movie. Rotten Tomatoes gave it an 85% approval. 348 people gave it a 7.1 out of 10. Not bad. Fast, funny, and gleefully profane, the fourth wall busting Deadpool subverts superhero film formula with wildly entertaining and decidedly non-family friendly results. 6.5 out of 10 on Metacritic, 49 critics generally favorable movie by them. A on Cinema Score, positive score of 97% on Post Track. 45% of filmgoers saying the film exceeded their expectations. This movie's so big that all these media outlets are just watching the movie, so that's cool. 3.5 out of 4 by the Washington Post. It's a miraculously self-aware comedy and the first R-rated Marvel film with real teeth. The film's attitude, the tone was great. Ryan Reynolds, making Deadpool a likable character. The film's action scenes, those were all great parts of the movie. It shouldn't, the movie shouldn't work, but it absolutely does. It successfully balanced comedy with superhero action, and that the chemistry between Reynolds and Baccarin gave enough weight to the plot to support the tone and violence. 3.5 out of 4 by the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. I'm actually 20 minutes from St. Louis, so that's cool. It was smart, sexy, and outrageous. It wouldn't have worked without Reynolds, for sure. 4 out of 5 on The Guardian. Neurotic and needy and very entertaining. It's kind of like Kick-Ass, the 2010, and kind of like Kill Bill, the 2003 film. The film's villains were underused. That's kind of like a problem. It's the world's most violent and vulgar Bugs Bunny cartoon. The film's unconventional plot structure, its personal stakes, the difference in tone and storytelling from other superhero films, the cast, all great things. The film is terribly arch and juvenile, but also startlingly effective. Ryan Reynolds' performance and the film's willingness to hide his looks under prosthetics was kind of cool. The script, the director, Miller, kind of stayed out of the way of his script and his star. This movie received like almost nothing but positive reviews. I mean, it's kind of a slow movie, but once it goes, Deadpool drops trow to reveal itself as a really raunchy, very dirty, and pretty funny goof on the entire superhero ethos. The film goes on too long, and repetition dulls its initial cleverness, but the junky feel is part of its charm. The cast was great. Ryan Reynolds, Tim Miller's action sequences. The film was given 3 stars at the Boston Globe. The featherweight plot was kind of there's enough humor to support it. Ryan Reynolds was born to play Deadpool. I mean, I don't think anyone else could have played Deadpool in this movie. That's what a lot of people are saying anyway. Entertainment Weekly gave it a B. It doesn't have the most adrenalized action sequences or the deepest origin story, but with the R-rated fun, it kind of makes up for that. Yeah, again, Ryan Reynolds was the perfect start for the film. It's a blast of laughing gas in a genre that tends to take itself way too seriously. Maybe even kind of making fun of the fact that superhero movies take themselves too seriously. Some people thought there was too much juvenile humor, but I don't know. I mean, at least the film didn't make homophobic, racist, or sexual jokes. I mean, its overall tone remained joyous despite the material, so that's cool. The film's jokes save it from a lack of subtext and strong villains, and the gratifyingly twisty structure was... Yeah, I mean, the listing of the film's genre cliches in the opening credits before they were used, they weren't impressed, but that's kind of like the fucking satire of it. You're just kind of lame, I don't know. The human elements in the film were interesting, and the moments where Reynolds and Tim Miller did more than hit the same bombastic notes over and over again. B- on IndieWire, its style. Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool is kind of like breaking the superhero mold. The overall film is criticized, though, for following genre conventions and focusing on numbing violence and unoriginal swearing and nudity. What are you talking about? I mean, rated R movies are gonna have those aspects in it. I don't know what you're talking about. Deadpool gets off to a fun start, but the character eventually wears out his welcome. I don't think so. I don't know about that. Though the film is a complicated narrative, it is masking a conventional Marvel origin story. True. I mean, I don't think was Deadpool ever like supposed to be like this comical guy. Maybe not. The film's romantic element and Baccarat's performance were pretty cool. 3 out of 5 on Empire. The number of jokes will soon numb you to their impact. It's a fun alternative to other superhero films. It's better than most superhero films, so no, I don't think it's like an alternative. 3 out of 5 on Daily Telegraph. It's not the future of superhero movies. It's an enjoyably obnoxious detour. Some of the film's jokes about superhero cliches were out of date by the time the film was released. How? It's not like they were working on the movie for 10 years. I don't know. Some people didn't appreciate the humor, fourth wall breaking, or violence. What did you want out of this movie? I don't know. The film was bad, borderline garbage, not but disturbing too, in that it's just the kind of fake, clever awfulness that might be cinema's future. Oh, based on what you're saying, hopefully it's not the cinema future. I mean, Jesus Christ, what are we talking about here? But I don't think it's a perfect movie. There's definitely flaws to it. But the action sequences, I mean, Ryan Reynolds is amazing. It's such a fun movie to watch. Like, it's a fun movie. Obviously, if you're you can't watch it with a family. It's not a family-friendly movie. But if you want to watch it with, like, the boys or something and have fun, I mean, go for it. I mean, it's a great movie. It's got a really cool environment, cool atmosphere. The villains are kind of lame. I will say that. But having Colossus in the movie was really cool. I like that touch, but leave a like, comment, and subscribe. GZTV 2 times a week, pretty much. And if I go to the theaters 3 times a week, we always review movies out here. We have plenty more movies. I will never run out of movies to review for you guys. You know, we still have action and comedy movies to get through, but